Welcome back to the poker vlog. This is episode number 179, and for this one, we do a meetup game in Southern California at a property that I had never been to before, and there's quite a few interesting things that happen. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get started. We're in Los Angeles at the Hustler Casino for our first ever meetup game here. This is an amazing place. People have come from all over to show their support. This gentleman here is named Ayush. He flew 18 hours from Singapore just to get a chance at crushing my soul. The room has a ton of tables and they're all filled up. We've got 16 dedicated to the meetup game. We're playing 5-5 no limit. It's a $1,000 max buy-in. That's what I'm in for. At my first table, I immediately see a handful of people who I recognize from either playing with them at previous events or because I've had some interactions with them on Instagram. A couple of these guys are fellow YouTubers. With all the energy here, I'm excited to play. In the first interesting hand, we pick up pocket fives in middle position. I open to 15. The button 3-bets to 60. His name is Capron. He's one of those guys who I mentioned has a YouTube channel. His isn't related to poker though. I call, we're heads up, out of position. The flop comes 9-3 deuce rainbow. We've got second pair and a backdoor straight draw. I check. The button isn't gonna let me see a free card. He bets 75. He could be doing this with ace high or another hand that doesn't have me beat. I call. There are a few cards that can help me out, like a 6, a 4, or how about a 5? We drill a set. I check. Unfortunately, the button checks back. The river is a 4. This is a terrible card since ace highs have improved to a straight, and a lot of overpairs would have continued betting on the turn. I'm either behind, or I'm going to have trouble making additional money. I check. The button checks. We turn over the set. It's good. The button shows pocket jiggities. There's no right way to play that hand. We drill a 2-outer to take down the pot. Quite a few yellow chips come our way. I'm off to a good start, and I'm not the only one. This guy Brian has never played 5-5 before. It appears that he saved up a lifetime of $5 big blind run good because he gets it all in on the turn with pocket kings against trips and pulls a me to drill 1 of 2 outs in order to make a boat and float on to the Upton Peninsula. Everyone who's playing at the meetup game is guaranteed to win. That's one of the great things about these events, except for those people who lose and break even. We pick up King 10 suited in middle position. It's my first hand at a new table. Under the gun opens at 15. I call. The big blind calls. We're going 3 ways to the flop in position. It's 10-7-6 with 2 diamonds. We have top pair on a coordinated board. The big blind checks. Under the gun bets 35. That's a reasonable amount. I call. The big blind calls. We're all still in it like the American League East teams aside from Baltimore. The turn is the jack of diamonds. A variety of hands we were beating have taken the lead. Checks to me. I check back. The river is the king of hearts. We improved to 2 pair. The big blind, who's the most likely opponent to have me beat after check through on the turn, bets 55. Under the gun folds. I'm not particularly confident, but I'm not folding. I call. I like to hear that. I turn my cards over to spare the player from having to show if he doesn't have much showdown value. From this angle, it looks like he may have the 10 of clubs and bet small on the river as a blocker bet.
Welcome to the table, sir.
Thank you. We're up a couple hundred at Hustler Casino, where the champagne flows like wine, and beautiful women instinctively flock like salmon of Capistrano. In fact, we pick up a couple ladies here. I raised a 20 from under the gun. Under the gun +1, the cutoff, small blind, and big blind all call. We're going 5 ways to the flop. It's 10-9-4 rainbow. We've got an overpair and a backdoor straight draw. Small blind checks. The big blind puts out a small bet of 35. I don't want to call and have several others come along behind me at a discounted price. I raise to 100. Under the gun +1 and the cutoff and small blind all fold. The big blind can't get away from it though. He calls for 65 more. The turn is another 9. The big blind checks. This card isn't great for me. I check back. The river is the jack of diamonds. The big blind checks. I doubt he'd do that with a hand better than mine. 2 of the queens are accounted for, making it a lot less likely that I'm up against king queen or queen 8. Perhaps I can get value out of a hand like jack 10, king jack, or jack 8. I bet 220. The big blind is like the opposite of the Anglin brothers. He's not good at escaping. He makes the call and gets very bad news that he's been taken to a little town called Value. Our paperwork is legitimate, indicating that we're the rightful owners of the pot. I contact the owners of my Airbnb, located in an area called I Always Have It Heights, to let them know that I'm going to be extending my stay. I'm immediately dealt pocket aces on the button. The hijack opens at 15. The cutoff calls. I 3-bet to 60. No one believes me. The hijack and cutoff call. We're going 3 ways to the flop in position in a 3-bet pot. It comes ace king 6 with 2 spades. We've got top set and a backdoor flush draw just in case. It checks to me. We might have too good of a hand. It's tough to get value when we have blockers to both top pair and the nut flush draw. I bet 60 again to maybe induce a light call or a bluff. The hijack folds, cutoff calls, it's heads up. The turn is the deuce of spades. We pick up a flush draw but no longer have the nuts. The cutoff checks, I bet 115. The player immediately folds.
Right, yeah. That's all good.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to run better than this. The opponent would tell me that he had pocket 10s. I head to my third table where I'm dealt pocket 9s in middle position. I open to 15. The hijack and cutoff call, the button 3-bets to 60. His name's Austin, he's from Salt Lake City, and he also made an appearance at the Dallas meetup game. The big blind cold calls, I call along with the hijack and cutoff. We're going 5 ways to the flop. It's 6-5-4 rainbow. We all check. It's very possible that I've got the best hand. The turn is another 6. The big blind checks. There are too many cards that I won't want to see on the river. I bet 125 to get folds out of some overs. The hijack and cutoff fold. The button calls. I'm almost positive that he has me beat because he should never be calling without an overpair, and I doubt he would have 3-bet 7s or 8s. The big blind folds. It's heads up. The river is another 4. I consider going all in to try and induce a fold since this isn't a board that's going to connect well with a 3-betters range. The problem is that there aren't going to be many 4s or 6s in my range either. I check, essentially putting up the white flag. The button checks back and shows pocket 10s.
You win. Can't be.
Get me notched. Pocket 9s. I was thinking about shoving it, but then I wimped out big time is what happened. Next we're dealt pocket jiggities in the hijack. It's a straddle pot. The player on my right opens to 45. I could call or 3-bet. I call. The problem with doing that in a game like this is the cutoff, button, small blind, big blind, and under the gun straddler also call. We're going 7 ways to the flop. If I don't hit a set, I'm probably going to have to give up on this even if we end up with an overpair. The flop is 9-7-4 with 2 clubs. Checks to me. This isn't a fun spot to be in because this is about as good as it gets with this hand without having a set. I go back on my initial thought and I bet 170 to deny equity from drawing hands and overs. I can't get through one player. The cutoff shoves for 575. He has 6 opponents when he does this, so this jam is never going to be a complete bluff. He'll have strong draws, possibly a hand we're crushing like 10s or ace-9, some hands that are crushing us like sets, and 9-7 suited. Folds back to me. I don't like this situation at all. I'm just getting too good of a price though.
How much is it? Alright.
Huh?
We're heads up and playing for all of it. The turn is the 5 of diamonds. It doesn't change a ton. The river is the king of clubs, which is rough because the flush draw gets there. It's hard to imagine that I'm going to win this one. And I'm not. The player turns over a set of 4s. Not too surprising. I get completely punished for not 3-betting.
My friend. Jiggity's no good. Jiggity's. How much is it? Oh my god, why did you re-raise it? I thought about it.
Almost all of my profit is vanished. I've been running great lately, so I don't care a ton about that. Additionally, the opponent who beat me is really nice. What makes me sick to my stomach, though, is that I can't even. He's a Dodgers fan.
Sorry. Flop the set. the Dodger fan too. Get out of here.
I'm off to the next table where I'm dealt ace-jack offsuit. I straddled under the gun. The player on my left double straddled. We're playing 5-5, 10-20. The button raises to 60. I call. It's heads up. The flop is ace-9-4 with 2 spades. We've got top pair and a backdoor flush draw. I check. The button bets 60. I have no sense of whether I have the best hand or not. I call. The turn is the jack of diamonds. That's the best card in the deck. We turn top 2 pair. I'm concerned if I check, this is going to check back a lot. I need to make sure that doesn't happen. I bet 150. The button calls. This has become a large pot. The river is the 3 of diamonds. All the major draws are missed. I'm going for maximum value. I bet
450.
I'm targeting hands like ace-king or ace-queen that can't really fold to a bet of this size given how this has been played. The opponent snap folds though. Maybe he had a missed draw of some sort. After losing a couple of significant pots and then some little ones, I was actually stuck a small amount before this hand. I'm glad to be back on the right track with this win. I'm now up a few hundred again. Later I pick up queen-jack offsuit. I've double straddled from under the gun +1. A player in middle position opens a 60. The cutoff calls. The button calls. I call for 40 more to close the action. We're going 4 ways to the flop. It's 8-4 deuce rainbow. No one seems to be happy with it. We all check. The turn is the 8 of hearts. I figure I'm the most likely person to have a big hand like trips or a full house, given the action so far. In games like these, people tend to call too often, so I haven't attempted many bluffs. This is a good opportunity to try one though. I make it 130. One by one, the players all fold, we get it through. Once a bluff is successful, it's important to show the opponents that we've wrecked their worlds.
Got him.
I'm up a little bit when I head to my 8th and final table of the night. We're all about to rack up and head to the bar when we play our third $20 PLO double board bomb pot in a row. The first one we did just for fun because the table felt like doing it. The second one we did because there was a dealer change. And the third one we're doing because the dealer dealt it that way on his own accord. We were all a bit confused as to why, but bomb pots are fun, so no one really stopped him.
Third PLO table on accident.
Not sure why I called this PLO hand a table. I guess it's just been a long day. Anyway, we're on the button looking down at a pair of 9s, a 5, and a 4 with too many diamonds. The first flop is 9-7-3. We have the absolute nuts on that one with top set and a gutter. The second board is Jack-Jack-4 with 2 spades. We didn't connect as hard there, but we're still in good shape. The cutoff bet's 100. I can't allow other players behind me to call for that price. I want to get as much money in now while I have the best possible hand on one board. I pot it, making it 460. If someone has a wrap without a jack, they won't be able to call a re-raise, knowing that their only hope is to maybe make a hand on one board, and the cutoff might repot it. The big blind comes out of nowhere and rips it all in for 1,380. This has me slightly covered. I started the hand with 1165. It folds back to the cutoff. He's not going anywhere.
I'm all in.
I assume one or both players have a jack and possibly a hand like Jack 10-8 or something else that has equity where I have a set. Since I'm only really hoping to win half the pot at best, is this a situation in which I should just fold the nuts? It's tough to tell. I'm not a mathematician or someone who's ever letting my hand go.
Alright, I'm all in as well.
Oh no. Dude, I would like 8-10 jack in my hand.
It's gonna be probably my last hand of the night, I imagine.
The top turn is a king. I'll take it, especially since the bottom turn is also a king, so it's very unlikely that someone's holding 2 kings. It has me beat on the board that I need to win. The first river is the 8 of clubs. This is one of the last cards that I wanted to see since Jack 10 and 6-5 both get there.
That's real bad for me.
The second river is the 10 of clubs. It doesn't really affect my hand much. I hear a couple of the worst things that I could possibly hear.
I just have a straight on that one.
Fuck.
That's good.
I have pots.
I was running so good at the beginning of the session. I was up about $1,000 at the peak. I've been winning about 95% of the day or more. Then on the last hand, because of the hand accidentally being a PLO double board bomb pot, I get stacked. It doesn't matter how you start the session, it only matters how you finish it.
You got scoops. Nice hand.
Another bomb pot?
Yeah, it was an accident.
The player on my right has all 4 of the jiggities. The player on my left jammed with 8-6-6-5 and 2 spades. Him and I were both pretty much drawing dead on the second board, unless he went runner perfect for a straight flush.
Good game,
Yeah,
guys. Good game.
Is that what they call it?
Oh no.
Ah, it's alright.
Sorry, bro. I wanted to gamble with you.
Yeah.
You just did.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying.
To add insult to injury, I lost more than I should have. The big blind and I both had the cutoff covered. I have 155 more than the cutoff, and the big blind has me covered. I actually chopped with the big blind because I beat him on the second board, so I should have been able to keep my remaining 155. These hands are super chaotic with 2 boards, all the players, and all the cards, so there tends to be some mistakes from time to time. Because of that, no one realizes in the moment that I'm supposed to walk away with a small amount. It's partly my fault for not catching it, and I'm okay with it going to a viewer anyway.
You got 1,400.
Yeah, but what did he have on the other
covers your
board,
bet.
really?
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, but
Ah, it's alright.
lucky video though.
Played for 6 hours, just got stacked on the bonus double board PLO hand. That's unfortunate, lost 1,000 tonight, but great turnout here. A little bit not thrilled to have just lost that last hand. It's pretty brutal, but now we are about to go to the bar with everybody and hang out, forget about poker woes, and it's cool to be with everybody. There's a rare occurrence of no cash out, but we have a great time hanging out together and having some drinks with the crew. A viewer named Sylvia gives me this hat because she's tired of seeing the Leafs hat on my shelf in the background on my intros and outros that another viewer gave me a few years ago. The poker's done for day 1 of this trip, but we still have day 2 to recover our loss. We're playing 1-3 with a $200 max buy-in. It's not quite as interesting for the vlog, so I just give Instagram updates, and I don't run well at all in the beginning. After several hours of being stuck, I turn it around and I'm actually winning for about 2 hands. Then I bluff off some and book a loss for 320 with 2 losing days in a row at the Hustler. Some might say that my run good streak is ended, but I got to meet a ton of great people, I made some memories, and I walked away with a few gifts, including this book from the author himself and some specialty beers from Pokerfish, who's another vlogger. I'd say I'm still running pretty well overall. That's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe buttons because it helps out the channel a ton. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know in the comment section, and I'm happy to get back to you. Big thanks goes out to the Hustler Casino. They did a great job out there, and unfortunately the session didn't end how I hoped it would, but still had a lot of fun, and it was cool to see everybody. So thanks to everybody who showed up as well. We're going to be going out to the Hustler once every 2 months, so be on the lookout for dates. I'll put them, at the beginning and end of future vlogs if you're interested in joining Andrew and me for another event. Hope you're all doing well. Stay safe. Good luck at the tables, and I'll see you next time.